Yo, how's it going, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Tokyo Revengers. This is episode 6, titled Regrets, and I recorded 2 episodes and I did not realize that the audio wasn't going through, so I'm kind of pissed. These episodes are going to be kind of short. I'm going to rush my points because I'm already annoyed that I have to record this twice. So this episode begins with, this is again, Tokyo Revengers, episode 6, Regret, begins with Draken and Mikey leaving the hospital, hammering home that Draken and Mikey really do need each other, because it's definitely a learning progress with these two. It's definitely something that these two have to like be together in order to kind of, you know what I'm saying? Like they're better together. They're learning from each other. And we see Takemichi watching them. We see Takemichi following them. And as he sees Draken leaving, we get into Draken's background story, which is honestly pretty fucking interesting, man. Like it's pretty cool. And we find out that Draken, his dad was a John, his mother was a prostitute, and she left him when he was 2 years old. And Draken has just been raised at that brothel where he was abandoned, raised by the staff, raised by, I'm guessing, like the people who own it. Even the girls themselves, the working girls, have somewhat taken a liking and see him as not so much as their own son, but someone that can learn a thing or two from women of the night. It's interesting, man. Like they have a playful banter with him, like, do you need a tug before before you go to school? He's like, no way. And he's 11 years old and he's like 5'6", 5'7". It's insane how tall this guy is at 11 years old. And he's beating up all these middle schoolers and upper graders, and he's telling them, look, bro, my new name's Draken, if you haven't heard, so let's get it. And as he hangs out with this older gang of high schoolers who beat him up, they let him know, look, there's a person named Mikey that you should fight, or bring him over here for us to jump, because this kid is like destroying people. So Draken's kind of excited because he's like, I want to hear another kid who's just as strong as me and around my age. Like, I can't wait to meet this guy. When he sees him, he's a little underwhelmed because he sees that Mikey's only like the regular size of a normal 11-year-old. He's like, this guy is like, dude, I thought this guy would be like a monster, and he's only 11, and like, what the hell? Mikey's like very aloof. And one thing I love about this show is Mikey's aloofness. Mikey has such an interesting dynamic as a character because he's aloof, but he's very idealistic. He's very philosophical when he comes to like the world he wants to create, not just for himself but for his friends. And just not even just that, like the camaraderie he has for all of his friends. Honestly, it's insane. I love Mikey Kun's character so much. Mikey Kun's probably one of my favorite characters in Tokyo Revengers. And of course, during this flashback, we see that Draken ends up taking him, and Mikey was really quick to say yes. He goes, all right, since you asked me, I'll go see out these middle schoolers. And right when he introduces them, he says, look, I brought Mikey here. Mikey just dashes and makes a beeline for fucking the leader. He knocks him out. He tells the whole gang, like, y'all are a bunch of bitches, let's be real. Like, why are you trying to fuck with a 11-year-old kid? There's 5 of you. Like, you all just bitches. And Draken is just like, wow, dude, this guy is so badass. Like, he's so cool. And Mikey's like, dude, why do you hang out with these guys? These guys are not real, like, they're not about it like that. Me and you, we're about it like that. Let's be friends. Let's kick it. And that whole half of the episode feels like it's already like a chapter, just solely dedicated to Draken. And I really like it. I really enjoy it a lot. This first half of this episode is really interesting. I loved it. I loved it a lot. I love seeing Draken's background story. It's very interesting to see somebody who grew up in a brothel, grew up around these kind of probably like people who disrespect women or people who don't appreciate them, has such like standards for people who do appreciate women, who do go above and beyond and fight for a woman. But that's possibly because he's seen how these men act, and he knows that he doesn't want to be like these men who hurt these mother figures in his life or make these women feel any less than themselves. Really interesting. So we pick up with future Naoto and future Takemichi as they go into the construction zone, and they're meeting. They're trying to find Osunai, and Osunai is this former member of Mobius. And last time I thought it was Moebius or Mobius, and I'm finally confirmed that it is Mobius, but we'll get into that later because it has an interesting symbolism for that name of the gang. So As that's going down, they find Osuna and they see that he's kind of a loser. He's like a deadbeat. He's kind of a slacker. He's essentially worse off. Not even, well, he has a job, so he's better off than Takemichi. So Takemichi and Naoto, they talk to him like, yo, what happened that night? What's going on? Like, what occurred when the night that Draken died, when it was Toman versus Mobius? And he's like, bro, like, I don't want to talk about it. Like, it was all his plan, man. He set it up. And we get the word he a lot, his. I'm trying to think. I wonder who this his person is, man. It sounds like it might be Glasses guy. So he freaks out because he doesn't want to talk about this anymore. So he decides, you know what? I'm gonna leave. I want to leave. So he leaves. And Naoto and Takemichi think to themselves like, what are we gonna do? Then Naoto says, look, as long as that fight doesn't happen, that fight's the catalyst. It's the powder keg. Like, if we can avoid that conflict, we can avoid a lot from happening. And so he sends Takemichi back, and Takemichi wakes up in the past riding with Akun. And this is where like this episode has like a little medium of like, the best way I can say is just be grateful for what you have now. And it's really, this part hits me a lot, so I'll get into it why. So Akun and Takemichi are talking. He's happy, and he sees his friend again, and he goes, hey, Akun, is there riding through the neighborhood, do you have any dreams? And he goes, yeah, bro, like, I guess I want to be a hairstylist. And he goes, really? He goes, yeah, but I don't think it's gonna happen. He goes, well, I believe in you. And then he shouts it to the world, I believe in you. And he's making Akun embarrassed and stuff, and he tells Akun like, bro, when you become a hairstylist, I want to be your first customer. Like, set me up. And he's laughing. He goes, okay, like, whatever you say. He's all blushing and stuff. And it takes me back to like, I've lost a homie at a young age. There's a couple of people I know who like have gone from this world way too young. And hearing that, like, him like reassure his buddy, like still thinking about the time he lost him, and being able to have that time now and probably be able to have a chance to have that a different scenario from occurring for his life, it's very powerful. It made me think of a homie of mine, and made me think like, damn, you know, maybe if I hit him up, or maybe if I would have told him something, or maybe if I wanted to hang out with him more, like I could have said something that would prevent a situation that occurred from happening. And it really made me sentimental. It really made me like tear up a bit just thinking about it, because that's what first came to my mind when I saw this part. It's so good, man. Like, Tokyo Revenger does a lot of things with this episode that really highlights the importance and reminds you what the mission is and why we're doing this, and the importance of why we're doing this. And this little moment right here is like, it definitely does remind us as an audience, like, this is why we're fighting, this is why we're running with Takemichi, because we want him to do what he wants to do, which is save the day. So the latter of this episode is Takemichi running towards the warehouse to meet with the Toman, and he runs into Draken and Mikey, and of course, you know, Pai and Pei, whatever these guys' names are, and he's telling them, guys, don't fight. And this guy Pei is just fucking him up. He's like, bro, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. He's like, no, dude, no one's fighting Mobius. And he breaks down. He goes, I don't want you guys to fight Mobius because I don't want to lose you guys. You guys just became my homies. Like, I don't want to lose you guys. And right when Pa's about to hit him again, Draken grabs it and he goes, you know what, like, let's be real. Like, he's saying this, maybe we should hear him out. And Mikey Kun already has said it to him. He's like, bro, I already made this decision. I don't think twice. I do what I say I'm gonna do. If I say we're going to war with Mobius, we're going to war with Mobius. And Draken and Mikey have this little thing where Mikey goes, are you betraying Toman? And he goes, I never said that. He goes, that's what it sounds like to me when you're saying you don't want that you want to hold off on us going to war with them. And it kind of made me think of like the ripple effect, like no, like, what if this is a part of the timeline that can't be unfixed, this rift between Draken and Mikey. But it already seems like this rift has already been, like, it's one-sided already. I don't know where it's coming from, but I think Mikey really is taking, in a sense, Draken for granted, kind of like how, in a sense, Takemichi took Akun for granted. Like, you don't know what time you have left until you lost it. and we have a little flashback of not Takamichi, of Mikey, future Mikey-kun, and he has a tattoo of a dragon on the back of his neck, and I can only assume that's a symbolism for his like the last best friend of his, which is Draken. But they're interrupted by the leader of Mobius, Osonai, who comes in, and he again looks totally different than his adult self, but he's just this asshole with a like fucking red jumpsuit. Gee, it looks, you know what, I would rock something like that, no lie, but it's kind of cool. It's kind of cool. And he brings in the whole Mobius gang, and all the Mobius members all have the Mobius strip on the back of them. Now, for those who don't know, the Mobius strip is what people believe to be how time itself moves around. Like the infinity logo, basically. That's what's known as like the Mobius strip, in a sense that time is constantly going and it moves in like a motion like this, you know, kind of thing. And it's interesting because it has stuff to do with time, and they're a gang called Mobius, and this guy time travels. It can't be a coincidence. It has to be something. There has to be something into it. Anyways, I think Glasses Guy is a time traveler. Like, if I have to end this episode with final thoughts, it's just why, like, I think Glasses Guy is the real villain of this, but I don't know how. I think he's a time traveler just as well, or he was able to like send messages to the past. I don't know if he has the same power as Takamichi, but he has to be in a regard in the same thing. I don't know yet. I really don't know. I don't. But I will say this: that ending with the gang being surrounded, I think what's going to happen is that this is going to end up in the fight, but I think Takamichi is going to be present in this gang war, and he's going to make a huge difference in it. But yeah, I'm really excited for this, guys. This episode honestly was like 9 out of 10. I loved Draken's background story. I think it's really cool, and I can't wait to see what's going to happen next episode. I can't wait to see the brawl that's going to happen next episode. But anyways, guys, this is your boy Papi Wolf saying peace out, and thank you guys for 50 subscribers. I really appreciate that. You guys have really made my day when I saw that the count was at 50. And yeah, anyways, I'll catch you guys later. Peace out.